So Bart, we're here mainly to talk about Irish and UK imports to New Zealand, but we can't really ignore the seismic shift in CNH New Zealand at the minute.
No.
Are you going to tell us about that?
Look, it's probably not my job to go into too much detail about it, but yeah, there's been a huge seismic shift, I suppose, probably the right word for it. CNH, look at in their efforts they've made no excuses about it, that they want to get closer to the customer. They've looked at the dealer network, obviously made a decision on how they want to do that. It all happened pretty quickly. We were all shocked, and we found out about it on the Friday morning, and by Friday afternoon we were invited to, I suppose, be custodians of the brand, for want of a better word, and caretake the customer network until a decision was made on what we're going to do going forward. So we were all like, just how we do that, I don't know.
So for people at home wondering what we're talking about, basically is the New Holland franchise was taken off a fairly large dealership with a lot of branches. And now Cochranes, as a case, IH dealership, you have taken it on temporarily anyway. To fill the gap.
Yeah, at the moment it's specifically a caretaker role. And look, decisions obviously have to be made at a higher level about how it's all going to be sorted out going forward. But our job basically is just to ensure retails are delivered, that parts and service continues on, obviously, because it all happened in slap bang in the busiest time of the year during the harvest. But look, we were able to grab through, deliver the machines, worked out pretty okay. But again, it's just now we're just at the point now we're just sorting out stock. But at the moment we've access to equipment and the portals. We can wholesale and retail and carry on like a New Holland dealer at the moment. So
at the minute you have quite a few blue tractors out in the yard in stock.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, and look, that's normal. That's kind of what you want this time of the year, is when you want the stock.
Yeah, I don't see any lads outside wearing New Holland jackets yet, though.
Well, look, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're not going to change any. Like, we've obviously Cochrane's our brand as well. In order for us to, until something is actually officiated, I can't say that we would invest any money in dual branding ourselves until a decision is made, which is not just yet. But we have sold a couple of blue machines already. Which was but again, the customer, he was happy to buy red or blue, and it was what have you got in stock? So it was pretty straightforward.
And you have the whole New Holland range, from tractors, balers, combines.
Full line, absolutely full line. If at the moment we're looking after the Nelson and Blenheim area as well, which is predominantly viticulture. So we had a couple of grape harvesters to deliver there, and obviously some vineyard tractors and stuff that we wouldn't historically have been accustomed to. So the big learning curve down of that. But again, until anything's decided, we'll figure out what we're going to do there. But that's the type of thing that's really exciting, right through to like them small tractors obviously are different. And then the grape harvesters, F4 cruisers. Obviously KSH don't do that option, so that's new and exciting. The point of difference and the balers is a thing of nothing. They're all very similar, and the tractors like HDs and T7s versus Pumas are all pretty much side by side in terms of specification. The COs and axial flow is obviously a point of difference with twin rotor versus single rotor. So
and then, like, I'm guessing most of the parts between the New Holland and the KSH are the same, but have you had to get more parts in your store for some stuff that might be slightly different?
Oh, completely, yeah. I mean, that's the side of it you're carrying through. That's one of your points of service, that you have to do that. It was the first thing we did, was to make sure you had that backup. And obviously then second, that we have enough techs and they're put into the right areas to look after the machines. But again, like a lot of our combine and baler techs are that highly trained. They can switch to one to the other, really. I think the major thing was to get the EST tools that they could plug in diagnostics in and stuff like that. So once we were able to get that sorted, which happened fairly quick, like CNH were pretty on it from that respect. So I mean, the whole goods is only have one part of it, it's the service, and it was the customer really supplying the machines to the customers that had retailed, and looking after the customers that had taken machines that were under warranty or even boys that had machines 10, 15 years old, that they just needed the parts on the shelf to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, so but then that's a big learning curve. You know, it's a first. It's a, you know, I know it has. You've probably seen some of these brands side by side around the world, but it's definitely, if we do get the opportunity to do it, that, you know, we also have the opportunity to write the rule book too. So it's exciting times.
Yeah. And then, so obviously the case brand for Cochranes is like your bread and butter. It's what your brand is built around.
Yeah.
But you're an Irishman over here, and you're a good advocate for importing Irish machinery.
Yeah.
So you have a few that you bring in: ProDig, high spec.
Yeah. So high spec. The whole thing derived through Enterprise Ireland, who have quite a presence here. You see them a lot at the field days and stuff like that. But a few years back, Chris West and James Cochrane, along with Andrew Giltrap, went to Ireland on a trade mission, and so them relationships were forged. It's easy for me now coming here and seeing them brands, but you know, because the likes of high spec, you've Owen Keane, ProDig, we've Damien Cahill, and you know, obviously there's Malone as well, Fergal Connolly, good Irish guys, know what they're at. And
then, would you have much stuff in stock at any given time, or is everything ordered as it's ordered here by a farmer, would say?
Depends. Like, if you see, like it's been kind of widely documented in the last few weeks about the Connor tankers. But again, that came from a specific customer here that wanted a specific type of machine that normally would have dealt with a European brand, quite highly spec'd. And I was like, you know, there has to be a way. Like our Irish brands can offer pretty much, we're punching that same weight bracket. So I wrecked Barry Connor's head about it. But then when I was home in September, we sat there and looked at the 3D images and kind of finalised everything. And you know, literally a couple of months later, them machines are on the way here, and the customer's happy, and he's getting exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
You know, so the Irish brands, we can, like high spec, everything we offer, like the XL 1250 dung slinger. I mean, that machine performs so well in the conditions over here. Again, it's slightly different to home. You've seen yourself over the last few weeks how harsh some of the conditions can be over here. Yeah, no, it's incredible. And
stones are a big issue for every machine over here.
Unreal, it's absolutely unreal, you know. But then that's testament to the strength and durability of what Irish manufacturers can offer here. Like, there's a reason. It's not just the brands that we deal with. You know, you look at in history, like what the history of McHale here and other brands. You go to a field days and you see there's pretty much every Irish brand that I know, I'm aware of, I've seen here. Yeah. And it's pretty cool to see that. You know, but what we deal with for what our stuff is, you sell it and you never see it again.
Yeah.
You know, they just last. You know, so but we do look, we stock certain types of machines, but for the likes of them big tankers, like for them 30 cube ones for Connors, that's indent only. You know, it's per specification. It has to be.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not cheap.
Yeah, and every farmer wants something slightly different.
Of course, yeah, they've got different enterprises. There's different ways of storing their effluent, and you know, some are lagoons, some are overhead tanks, some are, you know.
I suppose here a lot of the effluent is just washings from the parlour, and then it's thin enough then that they can put it out through irrigators. So it's not the same as at home where you have to spread everything.
They'll look through the lagoon, same as the American systems. They'll go through 3 or 4 lagoons and then finishes off through a separator to take out the last of the stuff, and then it's washed out through the pivots. It's not the prettiest of systems. Yeah. It's probably not the most economically viable long term, because you know, you buy them machines to put water out. You know, so. It is, as I said, that compliance, and it will come down to just purely compliance, same as we had to do at home. Like, you know, when I was growing up, it was your tank on your splash plate.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't matter if a little bit went over the ditch. You know, whereas now it's, you know, everything. It's, you know, you buy a slurry tanker, it goes in a machine that has, you know, pretty high accuracy level of GPS. You know, so that's just the way it's gone, and that's. I'm not an alpha. That's not that long ago.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. Well, that's debatable now.
Show me age now. I aged a lot in the last month.
But before you were here then in New Zealand with Cochranes, you were still a case man.
Yeah.
Pre Cochranes, you were Case IH, Cooney Furlong and Wexford.
Yeah, I think the first Case IH hat I have is from an MXU 135. Yeah, so a bit of history with them, all right. But before I came here, so I done the machinery setup project with Waterfall and Kevin Cooney for our machinery company, and that was probably this has been brilliant, and but this is the future for me now. But before that, it was the best. It was the best experience I ever had in my life, and I'd done some pretty cool stuff, traveling and working overseas. But you rarely get an opportunity to set up a brand new machinery entity from scratch, new build, new staff, new product, a new franchise, a new product. But brilliant. Walter's quite an interesting character. He just tell you to get it done, and that's it. There's no left or right. Loved working from. We used to kill each other at times, but I think now, like I'm still quite close to Walter, talking quite regularly, and there's a lot of respect there from what we achieved. What I achieved with them over the 4 years that I was there. You'd miss the place, but I do try to keep a keen eye on what's happening at home, but here's home now.
You're just making sure someone is carrying on your legacy back at home.
Well, look, if you're involved with something from day one, it's like your baby.
Yeah.
And it really was. Like I went down to Wexford. I didn't know we hadn't one tractor customer, and we had to get in, get out, and get up them driveways, and make them relationships and make them work, and make them stick, look after them, and make them repeat customers. And we did that, and we done it quite well. And it seems to be something that's continued on now. I mean, if you look on social media and talking to Water, they're still, strong. So long may it continue. I never want to see that business fail. Yeah, that was good times. Definitely good times. Yeah. But equally, the opportunity here now is like the main reason why I moved here was for family, and little did I know that the way the network was kind of set up here at Case IH, and they wanted to come, the interest was they wanted to come directly to get closer to the customer. That was one step, and that was a huge shift in the market, which came to reality July 22, and then this, in the last month, it's just it's mind blowing, really. But again, it's if you look forward to what may happen, I reckon it's the way forward. Yeah. I reckon you'll see more of it, a lot more consolidation.
So I was here with you one of the first days I landed, and Pa Nagel Contract was picking up his new Case baler, mm-hmm. and you gave him a 300 Optum on demo.
Yeah.
How was that tractor?
Yeah, flying
on demo.
Yeah. Well, we had to as I said, I hadn't driven it, so I had a bit of a play in it, and you were there at the setup. We got it revved up on the baler, and it's going Cochrane. It's smooth, so smooth driving the roads. It's so easy. What I like about it is the Pro 1200 screen versus the old 700. You can have it as complicated or as simple as you like. And all we really had to set it up was in HMC2, and the eyes were screened down for the baler and a couple of cameras all merged in. You can flick between the hotkeys and the two buttons, and all you're doing is driving.
Yeah.
We punched it. We were tipping rail in 8K alongside the other baler. And I give it 6 or 7 nudges up to 12K, and there was no difference in no drooping engine performance whatsoever. And that was in heavy grass seed. So last week we had it up on a sumo tray on the hills up in Cumberland, and the customer was just blown away. Compared to the brand that he's currently using, he's like, no, this machine is definitely, the evolution of an Optum over the last probably 6 years. It's a completely different tractor than what it was. Same kit, same weight, everything's the same, but the technology that's in them now, and the output of technology, I think Pam was quite impressive. Some of the information we were able to pull out of it for what the baler was doing, for some of the customers that he's working for, and that's a selling point for us going forward now. But no, utterly impressed. Yeah.
Well, Bart, that'll probably do us, I suppose.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, and thanks for everything you helped us out with over the last few weeks when we were here in New Zealand. Wouldn't have been possible without you.
No, you're more than welcome.
I might even have to come back again next year.
Yeah, well, look, that's what the Irish do. That's the experience you get when you come overseas. It doesn't matter where you are. The Irish just help you out, and that's just it. So no, it's been great to have you, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thanks very much.
All right, take care.